Hello everyone, this is James from Bearded Swan, and today we're going to be shooting some baits. And we got bugs, and more bugs. And I got a few molds that I wanted to showcase today in this video from a Ukraine-based company called BugMold. They have a huge, wide inventory ranging from bugs like spiders and flies to swim baits of all sorts of designs, thicknesses, and variations, frogs, creatures, craws, you name it. And they all have, like, there's 50 different kinds of craws, if not more, on their website. And so we're going to be focusing on making different colored tails, and so we're going to be doing 3 different colors. We got a green neon chartreuse with also what I've been using for my crawdads. My craws is the color for the craws is a orange with some gold flake, black flake, and red flake. And I ended up doing a video of these, and I'll post a description below in case you want the recipe or in case you want to see the 8 to 9 pound bass that I ended up catching by using this. And also for the second color, I'm going to be using a sort of very light colored blue. And for the main body, we're going to be doing a bluegill style, which is just pumpkin green with black flake and emerald flake with some aqua blue flake. There's some purple in there, but very little, and it's got a little gold flake in there, which I'm going to beef up with some more gold flake and also some more Plastisol. So let's go ahead and open these bad boys up because I'm going to talk about these two first, because replicas, they mean that you cannot resell them when you make them, or you can't shoot these and then sell them just because this design is copywritten. These are only meant for your personal use. The next one you'll really recognize, but this is a mold that I first got from BugMolds just to see the company and how the detail is, and you could definitely tell that they get some intricate design work into them, and they look great. And these dragonfly nymphs have already netted me a lot of trout right on the rivers where I live. And they're perfect for floating up on top of the water or in the water column, bouncing them off the rocks. I don't vacuum out the bubbles because I want them to float. And if anyone fishes bass, you'll know exactly what these are. These are going to be a replica of the Berkeley Gilly, and this is going to be the smaller version. But I wanted something my own because bait making is all about just customizing your own bait for your own area. Matching the hatch is important. These aren't meant to be sold either. I just wanted one of my own, and so we're gonna I want to get into telling how to shoot them, because they do, when you do shoot them, they will have a hollow head just like Berkeley's does. And I've been loving them. I've been catching a few bass off of them here and there, but Berkeley's already got my money. I always buy from them anyways, from power baits to other plastic baits, hooks, you name it. And so I just wanted something that I can mess around with and just make my own. This is my custom mold, and this is the one that I call my Swiss Army knife, a stone nymph fly. And this I measured out all the way around its circumference, measured out the length, and it's the average size for the largest stonefly nymphs out there. And so I wanted something meaty. I wanted something to where I could fish the lakes, the rivers, anywhere in between. Smallmouth bass love them, trout love them, and also salmon and king salmon and kokanee. Yeah, you name it. And BugMold, what they allow you to do is, since they have a huge inventory of just CNC designs, you could take designs from a mold and then put them on your own mold. And so a lot of this is a Frankenstein mashup of just multiple molds that they already have in their inventory. But I did a few things that I wanted different here and there, and they ended up telling me, because they make their own baits, they shoot their own baits, they go fishing. These guys use their own molds, and so the gentleman that was helping me was telling me what might work best for shooting plastic. And so he gave me some tips and what to work with because I asked for it, and they're very friendly. Sometimes the language barrier might be a little tad bit of an issue, but you have to realize, you know, everyone, they fully understand you. They understand what you're looking for. They're just wanting the finer detail to make sure that what you want is what you're going to get. And I'm very pleased because I ended up getting another one of these made up. And you'll see on the numbers that they'll add a P, and this means, and they've been doing this all for custom molds, is that, and you could request these to not be kept hidden in a way, because this technically is mine, copywritten, so no one else can get this mold, no one else can sell them. But these guys have been doing it for, like I said, over a decade. So all in all, it took about maybe 3 weeks for the beginning stages of me mapping out and telling them my design, to cutting the design, and then to shipping it out. And since of their conflict that they're having overseas in Ukraine at the moment, shipping can vary, and especially depending on how many molds you get and whatnot, because they do have some stuff in inventory already to ship. And what's really great about BugMold is that they'll have a 3D image, and they'll have it in all sorts of different angles, and they'll email you and show it off to you just to get like a final, okay, is this what you want kind of thing. And so let's go ahead and put the screws on these. We're going to heat up and do the tail colors first, and then we're going to pinch off the tails. Let's go ahead and get these back on, and I'll meet you on the other side. Let's go ahead and inject our first color, which is going to be the tails. Okay, now we're ready to unveil. And show off what I mean. Show off the detail in these. And you could tell it really did a really great job with the CNC work. And also, like I said, the heads are hollow. So that's a real neat little trick, because you could put in sort of weights and what have you right in there. There's slight denting, and just one of the dimples didn't fill out on both sides. And this is that softer plastic, and you really see how it bends. And so this on the back of a chatterbait as a trailer, that's gonna really do some damage. This would be the dragonfly nymphs. That all came out good. Yep, like that. And really great detail. And they're really smooth, come out nice and shiny. Like I said, BugMolds, they have some very experienced CNC machinists, know what they're doing. And then my custom bait, my Swiss Army knife. Yep. And I want to show off the ridges on the tail, especially because you can see them popping up, but it's at a slant. And the tails, especially with this plastic, you can see the bend in it. Now, I don't know if you could already tell, but yeah, even the eyeballs, really great how they came out. And the little 2 feet from the legs and stuff, and the ribs. And this is what I mean by a Swiss Army knife, is that when you're fishing and you rig up your bait and stuff, the head is usually the thing that gets torn up the most when you're taking hooks off and on all day and just switching things up. When that happens, all you gotta do is just pinch off that, and you have yourself now a micro craw, or a micro, like a micro jig for a nymph. And this is exactly what kills in the river. I want to put this orange in, start this, and when we come back, I'll have these screwed back in, and we'll do the orange and get those tails. Then off to the side. There we go. And as you can tell, the plastic didn't go over the sides. Makes it a little easier, especially when you clean them. So let's get that right there so we can throw the excess in and check out the other color. I don't really need to, but I always like to show them off. And this one doesn't have any denting, and that head just popped. So the air bubble's still there and stuff. And even by themselves, with just the single colors, are really nice. And you could definitely see through them a little bit and stuff, but really love how this one turned out. I'm very glad I ended up getting this custom one, because I'm able to sell these bad boys, and I know they work. So I'm going to do one after the other. And the BugMold, since the cavities are pretty small, it does not take that much plastic at all, but you do want to keep a little bit of pressure on them. Because you want to shoot it fast. You want it to go in, and especially if it's a cold mold, you want to shoot it a little bit fast and keep the pressure on a little bit. Take it out, make sure you top them off, because these will suck in some more plastic. Mainly because it's a cold mold. And I don't know what side it's going to come out on. There we go. Look at that. And there's a big dimple. Now I'll get into why that ended up happening and stuff. But you could see the detail right in the eyeball. That's basically on how I shot it with the temperature of the plastic. And even at the back of the tail. Now, normally what you want is a hotter temperature and a slower push. I ended up going a little bit too fast right there. And so what we want to do for the tails, and it depends on how much of the tail you want to keep that color, but it also depends on trying to get the plastic to stick. And so a very good spot for this one would be right here when the dimples just start coming in, and you have this fat piece right here, but you're gonna need scissors. So we want to cut just a little bit above that meaty part. There we go. So you want to cut off a little bit right there off to the sides and on the bottom, because what we want is the plastic to go and flow over. And so what we want to do is make sure that we cut at an angle. I'm gonna make sure I get that. I want to make sure we cut at an angle to where this part is going to be like a V. And so you just want to cut on the side and work your way to the middle to where it's slanting inwards now. And then do the same to the other. Whichever hand you do better with, go for it. That way you have some kind of point for the plastic to go over, and this little piece you don't really need, but don't cut off too much of that slant though. And if you feel a little bit more unsure, don't worry about it. Just go ahead and you could push the scissors in just to get a little bit more of that angle, and I'll do the other side as well. And sometimes what I'll do, especially if it's a wide spot like that, I'll just make cuts into this, because that hot plastic will go right into there. You just want it to be rough and at a point. You got to make sure, well, at this point, it doesn't really matter if it's upside down or not, but you do want to make sure that little slot right there, because it looks like a back end of a dart. You want one of those dart feathers right inside of there first. And you can use worm oil. I have luck without using it, but it makes a whole lot more difference when you're using worm oil, because it just slides and slips right into the cavity. And you could tell that it's going to be jetting out into the cavity. And this one, I want to be like a firefly. What we're going to do for this is cut into the body, but we're going to cut just past that first little notch right there. Or that, yeah, the very first little notch. That way we could just do the same thing we did with the fish. Well, mainly ones maybe that use for cutting hair. And that's what we want. And then this, what I like to do is just try to make it at a point. So I'm going to cut all 4 angles at a slant. Like that. And like that. That way we make like a bit of a pencil head. And you could tell what I mean by a pencil point, because that is what we want. Because that is going to jet right into the body cavity. And these are a lot easier because, like I said, when you have a mold that has the same bottom as the top, these fit in a lot easier. Can be finicky because they're small. Yep. And since okay, never mind. Fits right in there. And like I said, it's going to be jetting out into the body to where the plastic is going to fill in those 2 notches. Actually, I see that notch. I'm going to fix that one, but you can see that notch above. The plastic is going to go flowing over the top and filling in that notch with that other color. So what we want to do here, what I love to do is have the cut right here and this second body right in the middle notch. And that way the arms are still there, which makes it look a little bit funny. But this is that micro craw that I was talking about. I just take the arms off. You could leave the arms if you want, but that's my micro craw, my micro nymph. And this thing really slays in the river. This I've gotten a lot more hits and looks on from fish than anything else. So like we did with the dragonfly nymph, the small one, all we're going to be doing is making this into a point, like a pencil, on all 4 sides. And that's what we want. Maybe clean it up a little bit more. Yeah, these will be a little bit more tricky because of the flaps have the claws have the flaps and stuff like that. And I found that these are a little bit more finicky just because of the feelers as well. Sometimes they'll go in right away, and it's got that little slot right there. And it can fit in quite easily, but I just mash and move in the circular motion and it's already flat and all ready to go. Little tricks here and there to where you don't need worm oil. And when you put it on, you don't want to hear any movement at all, rocking back and forth. When we come back, I'm going to have all these filled in with the tails and stuff. I'm going to already have this melted down, ready to go. I'm going to add a little bit more gold flake, and then we're going to shoot them. So, one moment. And I really like this bluegill color that I have going, just because it's a nice pumpkin green, but it's also got a nice sort of balance of color and flakes. All right, now check out the gilly first. There we go. That is exactly what I'm wanting. I'm going to take them off the runner, stick that back in there. And that is a nice bluegill, especially just with the tails. That's going to definitely get a fish's eye. And I really love how the head is always a bubble. And all these dimples have filled in real nice, but you could tell some of them haven't. and that's due to the flake just getting in the way. That's really cool. I'm going to put that off to the side and we'll get the next one. And look at the dragonfly nymphs, because this one I really like this design and how they did it, because it looks like a firefly. Just like a firefly with those neon colored tails. Because they glow pretty nice. And so I'll do a final sort of picture and a sweep over of all the colors and stuff on a flatter object, but I really love how the neon from Dead on Plastic just pops and is so vibrant. And you could tell, you could see where the neon was cut and is embedded into the bait, and where the green pumpkin bluegill color just goes right over it. And that's what's really neat, is because the green pumpkin is still see-through, it gives that illusion that it's melded together, but it's kind of buried inside. So that's a nice color. I've done these color, not this color, but I've done these baits, my mold, in a pink, vibrant pink, and a June bug body. And I've caught a lot of smallmouth bass just with these, with the pink tails. I'm going to toss the body in there real quick, just so it can melt that, while show off a couple of these. That's real cool. And like I said, you could definitely see right there is a perfect example of making sure that when you shave off the tail end, to make it like a pencil tip, to where it's just pointed and it goes right into the body. And you could tell on this one as well. That's really nice. When we come back, I'll go ahead and already have the main body remelted. I'll have all the orange tails put in the molds, and I'll do a shoot and reveal, and we'll be back. Just got done heating up, and the consistency is rather nice. Nice and hot. And I already got the tails and everything from the orange set up in those, so we're good to go. Make sure there's no plastic inside of there. And see how these turn out. Ooh. Now that's a nice little color combo. Oops, here, let me get it off the runner. Yeah, that's upside down. I really like that orange. That's really neat. I'm gonna put that down here. Check them out. The mold really gets that fine detail, especially with that eyeball, and even the mouth right up in front. BugMold does a really good job, and even and they even added the different hook slots, sort of entryways, and how to rig this as well. You could have it at a jaunt angle or straight across. Right there. Move on to the next one. Nice. Yeah, just like fireflies, but with a different look and color to them. Let me know down below in the comments how you guys think about the colors and stuff, and also the molds. Because like I said, I'm going to have all the links and stuff in the description down below, and to where you guys could scope out their inventory and see what they got. Oh wow, that came out even nice right on that one side. That's really cool. Here we go. And a little side note, I gotta probably add that I'm not promoted by them. I'm not getting paid by them. I just wanted to do a video showcasing them, because I haven't seen too many videos about them, and I'm really surprised, because you do get a lot of great detail in these molds. And you can see the orange coming up through the green right there. And I think that's a nice little added detail. When you do this right, you get these plastic, the plastic just acts as if it's just one solid plastic. And that's all about heat and making sure the temperature is right Depending on how hot you have the body, you always want it to be a little bit more hotter than what you shot the tail in, just because it's going to help sort of meld and form with that softer plastic. All right, now we got the Plastisol all done. My Tiger-Flash as the body. I got it a little bit higher temperatures because you definitely want the body going down a little bit more hotter than you actually did the tails. That way it grabs on and it could kind of melt a little bit, but it's mainly just a bond. Actually, not too bad. There's no dimples in this one. Yeah, see, you just need a higher temperature to shoot it, but the tails sure did come out right. That is interesting. Now, I did cut the tails so the plastic shooting for the body would flow and wrap around them. This is exactly what I had in mind. Those not dragonflies, the fireflies that you see out east and stuff, and also in the southern states, they got a really glowing bulbous booty. Very nice. Yeah, that's actually, I'm actually wanting to try these on the river now. And let's see my custom ones. Custom stonefly nymphs. Ooh, look at that. Yeah, that actually turned out a lot better than I thought. And these, the same way, I cut these to where the tails had a bit of a cone on it, to where the plastic just folded right over them, just engulfed. So you can see how they kind of meld together. These things aren't coming apart unless you cut it or rip it apart. Now the Tiger-Flash is a little see-through, which is nice. And look at that, yeah. So much action, it's not even funny. Alright guys, so here's the last shot, and I'm going to be doing a sweep by just to do a final look. I hope you guys had a blast, because I sure did. The BugMold has really come through with a lot of great molds that I found, and just with the few that I have already, and I hope you guys check them out just to see what their inventory looks like, because they do not skimp on detail, and customer service is really top notch, especially with what they're dealing with at the moment. But I really love how you can mix up the tails and do something just different, and especially the dragonfly nymphs right here. They really remind me of fireflies in Kentucky just lighting up the night sky. And I know these would kill in those creeks and rivers over there in the pond. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Go ahead, and if you would be so kind to hit the like button and subscribe button. I've got plenty more videos coming on along the way. So I hope you guys have a good one, and just get out there and fish.